This is Sushi Tokyo 10. It's taking TikTok by storm for their Omakase experience, which is only $100 for about 22 pieces. Obviously, this is a lot of pieces, and it's got everybody hyped up on the internet. But here's my problem with the entire experience and why I wouldn't go back. But first, let me take you through some highlights before I show you the lowlights. I really enjoyed the oyster steam egg. It had a nice silky texture while also capturing the flavor of the oyster. The uni seaweed wrap was also fantastic. Crunchy seaweed, seasoned sushi rice, and a whole stack of creamy uni on top. There was the onion toro wrap, which had chopped up tuna put into this hand roll with some onions in it. And those onions, the acidity cut through the fattiness of that tuna, so it actually really complemented it well. And of course, there was a miso black cod, and you can never go wrong with miso black cod. I love that kind of dish. Now on to some lowlights and things I didn't enjoy as much. The only real unique pieces from this entire experience were things like abalone liver, cod liver, a couple pieces of liver. And let me tell you, usually I'm pretty good with liver. But for some reason, these pieces tasted like straight iron. It was just so grainy. It didn't really have a pleasing taste. And I'm not sure how much they marinated it, but it didn't have much other flavor other than the classic irony liver flavor. They also had cod roe, which is actually a fairly common thing. You'll find it even in like Japanese bentos. But I can tell you that I am not a fan of this whatsoever. It had a fermented, very fleshy flavor to it. Definitely not something I like, and it's unlike regular like salmon roe, which pops of flavor. There was also a clam miso soup, and while the actual soup was good, those tiny clams were kind of annoying to eat. They just had this tiny piece of meat inside those clams, and there was like 50 of them, so it took forever to eat, but you're not eating a whole lot from it. But it did add a ton of flavor to the soup, so really a good and bad thing. I honestly could have done without the clams themselves and just have drank the soup. And then there was this one piece, the Japanese peanut. And while it did have a slightly more peanutty taste than regular peanuts, at the end of the day, it's a peanut, bro. Like, it's not that special. I can have a peanut anywhere else. It didn't have to be one of the dishes as part of this omakase. Like, it really didn't. You could have just given that as like an appetizer, or like you could have found that anywhere else. I don't know what was special about this Japanese peanut. It really felt like a filler piece to like up the piece count, because people get hyped up over that shit all the time. Which brings me to my last gripe about this place, and it's that the only value prop it has is that it's giving you a lot of pieces for a lower price. But when you really sit back and think about what you're getting from this, really think about it. Are you getting the value for that money, regardless of the amount of pieces that you get, but the actual quality of the fish and the experience overall? Typically, when I eat at these type of restaurants, I expect to have a more unique experience. I like to try some pieces that I've never tried but are still super delicious. But the amount of times they even put out tuna, like we had, I think 3 or 4 rounds of tuna. Yes, I love tuna, but was it really necessary to have a sashimi tuna, a sushi tuna, and then all the different types of toro again? Not really. Like, I can get that anywhere else. I can get that at a conveyor belt sushi. Didn't have to experience that at an omakase spot. It just seemed a little bit boring and a little lazy, really. And don't get me wrong, I think this place is actually pretty decent, and it's good if you live in Japan, you're just going for a meal with friends, you have a sushi craving, you want to have something a little nicer than like the conveyor belt sushi, so you can go to this kind of a place. That's what I think this is great for. You get there, eat your 22 pieces, boom, satisfy your craving, and then you're on your way. But when you're on vacation and you have limited meals of where you want to go, this is definitely not a spot that I think you should hit up. That just might be me coming from a city where you have several omakase experiences and they all serve similar type of fish. Like, they'll also serve you that same type of tuna. So me going to Japan, I don't need to have that again. I want something more unique. So fair warning to everyone out there, be careful which one of these influencers you listen to. A lot of people will hype this thing up as if it's the best type of value, best thing you can do while in Japan. I can tell you for certain, there's much better spots that you can get for a reasonable price. I think you can easily go to a different sushi restaurant in Japan and just order the pieces you want to eat. It'll cost way less than this, but the value for your money is going to be much better, I think. And if you really want that omakase experience, I say spend a little bit more to get something much better. And here's a little secret. If you're going to Japan and you're going to Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Osaka and Kyoto are going to have much more affordable omakase experiences than in Tokyo. So if you're on that trip, go to all three of those places, save those fancier, unique experience for those two cities, and you won't be breaking the bank as much. I'll tell you this, we went to a Michelin star omakase spot in Osaka, and it was so good. That's going to be a video for another day. So sub to the channel and wait for that video to come out, because trust me, it's really worth going to. And you're wondering what's the price gonna be? Yes, it's more expensive, definitely much more expensive, but I think it's really worth the premium. But anyways, I guess the point of this video is save your money for better spots, but comment down below what are some other great spots that are worth spending your money on when you visit Japan. Smash that like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.